This afternoon we're going to do our main session, which is about trying to get you to understand what are some of the challenges and some of the steps and stages of the highly competitive application process, particularly to medicine, but also it's very similar to other things like dentistry, veterinary science and so on. It was really nice last night to chat on my table to try and give people an idea about the college and about the city. So some of these things, some of you might have heard before. The reason that a fam trip to Birmingham is so important is because Birmingham is unknown. So when you say to someone around the UK and around the world, what do you know about Birmingham? They tend not to know very much. Whereas for London, if I said to you, what do you know about London? Everyone knows things about London. Everyone knows most things about London. Ask someone about Cambridge, most people know lots about Cambridge. But Birmingham is a well-kept secret. And what we'll see, as you see what we've got to present today, and as you see for yourself with your own eyes, you will see that Birmingham is a hidden gem. And it's our job to educate you about Birmingham so that when you go and speak to families back in your home countries, you'll be able to say, yeah, well, I know about Birmingham, this is what we've seen, this is how the college works. MPW Birmingham, we are a family. The thing that really sets us apart within the MPW group, our pastoral care for our students is second to none. It's the very, very best. We work tirelessly with our students on a one-to-one basis, academically and pastorally, but it's that pastoral care that really makes the difference. I am a father of 3, so I know that if I was sending my children many thousands of miles to another country for education, I know what I would want my children to get in terms of pastoral care. And really that's what drives us. We try and give the closest family-like pastoral care to our students that we can. Our family then sits within this beautiful Edgbaston village. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of Edgbaston when we walk around, but fantastic history, some beautiful buildings, historical buildings, and massive investment in Edgbaston as an area in the past 20 years. And then we sit within the city of Birmingham. And Birmingham we like to think of as a sort of a patchwork. Birmingham has a very, very rich, multi-layered history. It's got historical, it's got modern, it's got everything together. So we really want you to think about the city as this wonderful tapestry of all the different elements that we're going to see. Now, just we saw a little bit of a scene like this last night as we came out of the restaurant. This is the Christmas market that we have. So the Crescent is a sort of a focal point for local events. So we have things like craft markets, farmers markets, we have local events. We had one before, we have a major tennis tournament that takes place down the road at the Priory Club. We had tennis events last summer and the Crescent. So it's a really, really vibrant area to be in and to be part of, and really gives lots of cultural experience just by being in the area itself. Why do our students love Birmingham? I'm not going to talk you through every point on these, but just going to highlight some of the key things that mark Birmingham out and things that we know from experience that our students love. So Birmingham has the youngest population of any city in Europe. So that means we are young person rich. And what that does is drives cultural activities for young people. So we have got about 45% of our population being under 25. What we've seen in the last 20 years is what we call brain gain. So Birmingham is gaining companies and gaining families and gaining young people from elsewhere around the country. And what we've seen is that lots of big businesses have opened major branches or relocated headquarters to Birmingham, and it's a process that still continues, and it's partly because the excellent transport links, being in the middle of the country, links to everywhere, but money goes a lot further. So it's a much better proposition for families to live because the cost of living is far, far lower than in London. We've got talk about the investment. In recent years, we have got Goldman Sachs, we've had Deutsche Bank, we've had HSBC, all open or relocate major headquarters to Birmingham, and this goes on. We saw a recent study in the past 6 weeks which ranks cities for how they are growing in terms of investment, and Birmingham ranked 3rd globally. So it's a really exciting place to be. I was born in Birmingham, I grew up in Birmingham, I went away to university, I came back to Birmingham, I've raised my family in Birmingham. So I have seen how Birmingham has evolved in my lifetime. And it's one of those things, Birmingham is unrecognisable today from 10 years ago. It's completely unrecognisable from 20, 30, 40 years ago. And I'm going to be honest, when I was a child, Birmingham didn't have as much to offer as it does now. It's been on this massive roller coaster of growth and development. So really, really exciting. And that's why we are a hidden secret, because if someone visited 15 years ago and they've got a picture of Birmingham, it's way out of date. It's not the case anymore. We've got a fantastic set of universities in the city. Obviously, you will all know Birmingham University. Warwick University is not far away, just in Coventry. We've got Aston University and others. So those are the big hitters that you'll have heard about. There are other smaller universities in the city as well. And then we have fantastic, rich heritage of sort of culture in the city, art and culture. We've got, we'll see a number of these as we do our walking tour today, and I'll explain some of those a little bit further. Birmingham is, surprisingly maybe, you might not know this, but it's a food hub. We have more top Michelin-starred restaurants than any other city outside of London in the UK. And what that drives, while our students probably aren't going to be eating at Michelin-starred restaurants, it drives then the different layers of food culture in the city. So Birmingham has got a very rich food heritage from lots of different cultures and lots of different places around the world. Birmingham also is known as a shopping destination. Our major shopping area, the Bullring, has undergone major redevelopment in the last 20 years. We've got designer outlets, major sort of designer shopping centre, the Mailbox. We've got the iconic Selfridges building. We've got the Bull at the Bullring. The Bullring historically was the area where animals were traded, and over the centuries it developed into a market and now a major shopping centre. But back to the idea of value for money. Birmingham is, on average, according to financial studies, about 25% cheaper to study and work than in London. Where students will notice that, and where families will notice that, rent and accommodation is the main one. I would say food and going out, if you know the right places, let's say in London, still a little bit more expensive, but maybe not a huge difference, but rent, accommodation costs, massively different, hugely different. And school fees as well, massively different. So students' money, families' money will go further. Our transport links have absolutely developed beyond recognition again in the last 10 years. So we're going to take a ride on the tram. So in recent years, the tram system has been developed in the city, which now comes out to Edgbaston. So we're 2 minutes walk away from the tram terminal, and then that takes you into the city to Grand Central Station and then beyond. The tram has just opened its new branch to the high-speed rail, so HS2, which is our high-speed rail that is being currently built. It's got a link out to there, and it's planned to then build a link out to the airport. So ultimately, in a few years, our tram system, you'll be able to get a tram from Birmingham International Airport through to the college. At the moment, the airport is about a 10-minute tram ride to Grand Central Station and a 20-minute train ride to the airport. So still, really, really accessible. We will see as we walk around. I want you to keep that idea of a patchwork quilt in mind. You will see that we have got, brand new, innovative architecture, new buildings that sit side by side with architecture from the 1960s, the post-war development period, that sits alongside architecture from the Victorian period, that sits along architecture from the Georgian period. So we've got this lovely patchwork, but it means that Birmingham has a very unique mindset about innovation. So Birmingham is a very forward-thinking city in terms of its own development. So, a little bit of fun to get us started. This is not just about me talking to you today. A little bit lighter-hearted. In Birmingham and in the Midlands, we have some unique bits of language that we use. So, Birmingham has got, some unique cultural phrases and sort of slang phrases that you might not have heard. So, when you're in Birmingham, you hopefully get to know some of these things and you can speak the lingo, speak the dialect. So, we're going to have a little test. I have got some prizes. So one of Birmingham's best known brands is Cadbury's chocolate. Cadbury's factory still in Birmingham, in Bourneville. Best chocolate in the world. So we've got some prizes. Right, so our first one, please shout out any thoughts. What does the term Brummie mean?
People who live in Birmingham.
People who live in Birmingham. There we go. This is everyone. That was impressive. So Brummie, we are Brummies. People from Birmingham, we are Brummies. We know Birmingham as Brum. There's a famous children's TV programme from the 1990s on YouTube. If you search for Brum, you'll see a very nice little children's programme about a little car called Brum that goes around the city. Why is MPW Birmingham such a fantastic place to work? I joined MPW Birmingham in 2003. So in a few years' time, I will celebrate my 25th anniversary of service at MPW Birmingham. And I met a student recently that I interviewed to come to here, and she asked me, what makes you get up in the morning? Why, after all these years, do you still come to work at MPW Birmingham? And it was a really good question. And it gets you thinking. And I'm very, very proud of what we've built over that period. The college has developed beyond recognition. But what is fantastic at MPW Birmingham is that as a member of staff, as a teacher, as a pastoral lead, you can see the impact of what you do. So because we work on such a small scale, because what we do is so bespoke and targeted to the students, I know if I put, let's say, 10 hours of working with a student on something, or on a number of things, I can immediately see the impact that has. And it's really, really satisfying to do that. So we work hard with our students, but in some schools and colleges, you don't really see the benefits that you're giving. You can feel like you're swamped by, a massive school or so many students. Obviously, because we've got such a small community here, we can definitely see the impact of that. We've got a list of some things here. I'm not going to talk you through all of these. We've got a lovely Ben you can see in our pitch here that we saw last night. I've got a fantastic staff body. We do fantastically well in inspections. Our staff are passionate, they care, and this combination of hardworking students and hardworking and talented staff means that we get fantastic outcomes for everyone. Aaron, as one of our vice principals, is in charge of teaching and learning, and so obviously pastoral is really important, but you don't want a student to go to a college or a school where the teaching isn't fantastic. And so Aaron's role is overseeing, driving forward of that high quality teaching. And we have fantastic teaching here as well. Our group size, as you all know from the week, is very, very small. We have a maximum group size of 9 students, and our average is about 5 or 6. And so that allows us to put into play our mission statement. So developing confidence, maturity, knowledge and skills, and the important one, putting academic aspirations into reality. But we're a very kind, nurturing environment alongside that as well. We've talked about this idea of bespoke nature. Now, I was talking to my table last night about, we specialise in students that are interested in medicine and the medical sciences, but we specialise in everything. So our students have a wide range of things that they study and that they go to university to do. And we've got, some students from a recent results day here with their courses that they went to do. So all students get the same care and attention regardless of whether they want to apply to, let's say, medicine or law or business or a degree apprenticeship or whatever it might be. One of the key measures that we have for our academic success is what we call value added. So value added performance. This looks at where a student enters the college in their academic ability. So usually from their GCSE level qualifications. And it looks then at what they leave us with at A level. And this is a measure that's done nationally around the UK. And when we're compared to other schools and colleges around the country, we are within the top 5% of providers. So it means that a student that comes here will make more progress in their academic life at A level than 95% of other providers around the country. We have a massive proportion of our students going to Russell Group universities. Our students win national prizes, and we get fantastic student feedback. And really, that's the main one. We're going to see this afternoon just an example of some student feedback. We're going to see a little video. We're going to have the opportunity to meet some students. We're going to get some of our current students in. We're going to tell you about their journeys. So really, I think that's the thing that tells you the most about a college. Like Birmingham, like I said, we want that idea of a patchwork quilt for Birmingham. The college is like that as well. We call ourselves the United Nations in here. We have got a beautiful patchwork quilt of nationalities, cultures, religions that work in beautiful harmony. We commonly get comments in our external inspections, our offset inspections, about the cohesive nature of our environment. And it's a real joy to see. And everyone's better off for it because everyone learns from each other. Different cultures, different nationalities learn from each other, and we see our sort of strengths in unity. I think this is one of the most important graphs that we'll see today. This is our current college roll in terms of nationality. So we can see that we've got, this is British, the big blue. So most of our college is domestic students. And then when we look at all of our international students, we haven't got a single one that is given a massive wedge. We've got loads and loads of different nationalities that are listed there. So we really are the United Nations. And I think that gives a really beautiful opportunity for students where we know that where students, international students, are in big groups from their home country, they can go through their educational experience and learn nothing about different cultures. They speak their own native language, they don't get to make friends with other groups. It's impossible to do that here because students have to mix, students have to get involved with students of other nationalities and backgrounds. So I think this tells a really, really important picture. And what does a socially cohesive college mean? It means happy students. So this is Char from a few years ago. She was really a really happy person. But that combination of high academic aspirations, that bespoke care and attention, high quality teaching, the United Nations of student nationalities in the college, all of that adds up together to give us happy students. And that's what our aim is. That's why we get out of bed in the morning, to try and give the best experience to students. Happy students means happy what? Parents. Yeah. Happy students, happy parents. And we all want happy parents as well.